Hello, today is May 3rd, 2010, and this is going to be my first mailbag video. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for your questions, and I'm going to answer a couple of them in this video. The first is from Rickards8171, and he asks how the women are in New York City and how easy it is to get a date there. Uh, First of all, I've only been there for a few days a couple of years ago, so I can't comment much on personal experience. But I do know people there, and I have some friends there, and so based on what they've told me, I can make some educated guesses. That'll give you an idea. Well, first of all, the advantage of New York City is that there's a lot more single women in the population there than compared to, for example, a typical U.S. suburb where the females consist mostly of soccer moms and teenage girls, which doesn't create a lot of opportunity for a single guy. So New York City has a lot more single girls in the pool of its population. So that's one advantage. Another is that on the East Coast, people are more blunt and upfront, and communication is more direct. So that in a culture like that, it's more socially acceptable to approach women and meet them and chat them up, even in public places. Not to say that it's easy, but it's more socially acceptable to do that in such environments. But the bad news is that even though there's a lot of single women there, I mean, the standards are still really high. You still got to be top echelon. I mean, you got to either look like a male model, I mean, or just really attractive, or you have to have status in some type of position, like an investment banker, a high corporate position, or just something that is prestigious and or even just a high status in a really cool field, like a DJ, for example. So you still have to meet high standards there. So I mean, it's not easy. I mean, so certain type of people might do well there, but it's not a place where just any average guy can just come in and get dates and meet girls really easily. I mean, it's not. So overall, I mean, there's some advantages there, but it's still not an easy place to get dates if you're just an average, ordinary guy. What I would advise if you're in New York is that, fortunately, there's a lot of females from overseas, like immigrants that have moved there and are just fresh off the boat, and they're going to be more down to earth and friendly and relaxed than the average female there. So, so if you can try to meet these immigrant females, your chances are going to be better to find a friendly, relaxed, down to earth girl that likes to meet people too. So yeah, the immigrant population female is what I'd go for if I was looking for the friendliest girls in New York. So with that, I hope that helps, and let's move on to the next question. Okay, this is from Pyramid Head 138, and he asks, how much easier is it to get a date in a foreign country than here in the USA? Well, that's a very broad question, but it's a very good question. First of all, I never said, I mean, I don't claim that in every country outside America it's a dating paradise. I mean, no, it's not like that. I mean, there's like around 200 countries in this world, and they each are going to have their own variations on different things. So there's just so many variables and differences that I can't say a blanket statement that covers everything. But I will say that I mean, what I do claim is that in many countries overseas, outside North America, it's a lot easier to meet people and women in general, and it's a lot easier to get a date for the average guy. I mean, everyone's different, but I'm talking about for the average guy. Um, so yeah, in general, it is in a lot of countries, but not necessarily in every countries, because there's just so many variables going on. I mean, it depends on the culture, it depends on how you're perceived, it depends on what you look like, it depends on how your personality vibes with the people there and with the culture there, and how rich the country is, because poor countries tend to be friendlier than richer countries in general. And so there's just so many variables, and some of it is just intangible too, is subjective. Because I mean, we each have a certain vibration and wavelength, and how that interacts or comes across to other people depends on who they are and their culture and what their wavelength and vibration is too. I mean, and there's always going to be anomalies. For example, I've always said that the Philippines is one of the easiest places in the world to meet girls and to get a date and to find a nice girl to hang out with and be a partner with. Um, and so, yeah, I mean, virtually any decent, nice, average guy can find someone there in the Philippines, for example. But there's always exceptions. For example, my cultural advisor, Ladislav, told me that he once knew a really good-looking French guy who had a really successful career in art, and he was very attractive. But when he went to the Philippines, it was like he couldn't even get a single girl to like him, because somehow his personality or his vibe just repelled these girls away from him. So even in the easiest place in the world to get a girl, this good-looking French guy couldn't get any, because he just had a certain aura or vibe or personality that just repelled, the women there, and that happens. I mean, some things just defy logic or defy the statistics. There's always anomalies, so you never know unless you try, to see how you personally interact with other people there, and even though here's another example, even though most expats say that Korea is very racist, and